I'm Noah.
And I'm Marci.
We grew up watching Disney Channel, and every few months, a new Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM, would be released.
Since we were kids, we used to love spending those evenings getting snacks and watching new, sometimes relatable movies on our favorite channel.
Well, now we're not really kids anymore, but we thought that we could revisit our younger selves by rewatching all 110 DCOMs, and we want you to join us for the nostalgia.
So, every Friday, we're sitting down to discuss our thoughts and feelings on the DCOM of the week. So join us, the DCOM kids, as we recap A Ring of Endless Light.
Heck yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Gotta pull up my notes.
Yeah, I was going to say I got to get my notes going. Got to get my glasses on so I can still read poorly. But yeah, so we rewatched Ring of Endless Light this week.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched it about an hour ago. Finished it about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm really good at watching ahead. I do 100% have intentions on rewatching
For sure.
the next one, today.
Okay.
Because I don't have a lot going on after we're done here. I have a few things I have to do, but after that, I don't really have anything. So I'm at least going to watch it once. And then watch it again to write the notes this time.
Our next one is You Wish, right?
Yes. So actually, you're writing the notes on that one, so never mind. I can just watch it.
You can just watch it. I'm still planning on watching it sometime.
Probably a good idea, just to get ahead a little bit, but I'm just so bad. I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, man, like this morning I woke up and I was like, I have to watch that movie today, but I have yard work to do. So
I watched it last night. I watched it before, but then I rewatched it last night to type up all the notes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job being a good co-host. I
don't have much going on this week.
Well, that's good.
I don't have much going on until the summer hits. So
that's good for you. You know what? Yeah. That's good for you.
That's good for you.
Well, Ring of Endless Light was released in 2002, and it was written by
Madeline.
Thank you, Madeline L'Engle, Marita Giovanni, which I read correctly this time, and Bruce Graham.
Oh, I would like to quickly, one of the names that we said for the cast last week, their last name is Gallegos.
Yeah.
We did not pronounce it properly last week.
What did we say?
GL goes or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have swore I said that right.
Hold on, let me find it.
Oh, I'm in the wrong notes. That's why my things are messed up. Gina?
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe not.
I thought we got everyone's name.
Oh no, that
good.
is Galago. I thought there were okay. I apologize for that derailment there.
That's okay.
Because I have one of my old students' last name is Gallegos, and I thought it was spelled the same way.
No.
So, my bad, sorry.
No sweat. We're all good here. Right on. I'll let you lead off with the cast. I don't remember if I'm supposed to or not, but we're gonna.
All right. Starting off with Misha Barton, who played...
None of their names are on here.
I
just
remember.
That.
It's Vicky Austin, though.
Good for you. Okay. I don't know why Ryan's is the only one who comes up, but Ryan Merriman, returning from the Luck of the Irish after having completed Smart House, is back again for his third DCOM, where he played Adam... Eddington, thank you. And then we don't have names for the rest of the cast. That's really annoying.
I remember most of them.
We can probably just stop with Grandpa, by the way.
Yeah.
So the next one is...
Next is Jared Padalecki.
Yes. Who played Zachary.
It's in the notes. Hold on.
Dongly Dougal.
Zachary Gray, I think.
Something like that. I'm just trying to keep the
Zachary Gray.
All right.
I nailed it.
He is also known for playing Sam Winchester in Supernatural.
Or Dean in Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I forget about that. I was like, his name's not Dean. His name is Dean in Gilmore Girls. His brother's name in Supernatural is Dean.
Yes.
And that's why I get confused sometimes. Then that's you. That's me. Scarlett
Palmer's.
Thank you. Scarlett Palmer's played
Susie
Austin.
Austin.
Thank you. And then last but not least,
We have James Whitmore, who played grandfather.
I guess we can go through Christopher as well. So Christopher Kirby played what's his name? Dockmaster? What's his name?
The Harbor Master. Harbor Master Dan.
Dan, yes.
Yes.
Excellent. We'll leave it there. This was, okay, so I usually go onto Google and I type in the movie and then I click cast.
Yeah.
Right? And it usually gives me like 4 or 5 layers. And I
Right.
usually just pick the top 2 and just take out, like, once
Yeah.
it gets past like the main cast, I'll just cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
What you see right there is all that shows up on Google when you type cast.
Really?
Yeah. And apparently not even with their names.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because their little brother's not credited on here.
Right?
Rob's not credited.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that till just now. We can,
Should
we look that up real quick and give
Yeah.
him a shout out?
Yeah.
Well, she's doing that. I'm going to quickly go through and tell you guys who our production crew was. That is director Greg Beeman, who I believe is back from another one. But once you look up the kid's name, Robbie,
Yes.
you can look up and see if Greg Beeman shows up again, because I'm pretty sure it does. And then it was composed by Phil Marshall, who I know has come back from several other DCOMs. And it was edited by Terry Stokes, who, again, I know has edited several other DCOMs. And the cinematographer was Rodney Charters.
Yes.
And that is the first time I remember hearing that name.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Soren Fulton played Rob Austin, which is
Awesome.
their little brother.
Perfect. A little bit of additional cast there. I don't
Yeah.
know what was up with Google. Like, sometimes the Google just sucks.
You want me to look up Greg Beeman?
Yeah, Greg Beeman, I'm certain has showed up before in our DCOMs in the past. I just can't remember what from. And then we'll just go ahead and go through the list and talk about where everyone is from, because I know Phil Marshall's been here before.
Miracle in Lane 2.
Miracle in Lane 2. Was he the composer for that as well?
He was the director.
Oh, he directed Miracle in Lane 2. It kind of makes me wonder if it's the same.
Phil Marshall did music for Miracle in Lane 2.
Oh, right. Sorry. Greg Beeman is the director. He was the director here, too. Correct.
Yeah.
Phil Marshall was
Who's
the composer there.
cinematographer?
Cinematographer here is Rodney Charters.
Oh.
Which
Miracle
I'm
in
pretty
Lane
sure is the
2
new one.
was William
Okay.
Wages.
And then Terry Stokes. I know that Terry...
Is it T-E-R?
Terry, yeah. There's several with Terry Stokes, but I know that at one point it was Terry and someone else Stokes.
Miracle in Lane 2.
That was awesome. Was that all? I feel like we've heard that name
Terry
before.
Stokes was the editor of Miracle in Lane 2.
What about just Stokes? Because I know
There's
we've had
also Jumping Ship and Xenon the Sequel for Terry Stokes.
for editor. There's a team at one point of
Yes.
Terry and somebody else.
Yes, for which one is this one? For Jumping Ship, the editors were Benjamin D. Stokes and Terry Stokes.
So it was both of them. Okay. Well, there you go. Class A editors. I don't know if they're SAE editors or whatever, but it's okay.
And they were also the same editors for Xenon the Sequel.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I wonder if they'll come back for Z3.
Ooh, maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I believe you will read our Disney
Yes.
Plus summary, so as you are ready.
Oh, I have the wrong age in my notes.
That's okay. We can fix it later.
Okay. Disney Plus summary. 16-year-old Vicky Austin is faced with the impending death of her beloved grandfather, who is suffering from leukemia. In hopes of briefly forgetting her troubles, Vicky begins assisting a handsome young researcher named Adam, who works with sea mammals. She soon discovers that she has the unique ability to communicate with dolphins.
That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing.
I was waiting for you to continue on.
No, that's like
Hard stop, apparently.
that's like not the best.
See, compared to last week, like that
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because like last week, it gave you basically the whole story.
Yeah.
And here, it kind of does, but like
But
it's so
she does. So the
she
way
doesn't
she
know that
doesn't know until
grandfather is
like the
has
end.
leukemia until the end. She doesn't help. She doesn't help Adam because to forget her troubles.
Right.
She does it because she's trying to dodge her homework.
Yeah.
Low key, like let's be honest.
Yeah.
She's trying to avoid doing her homework, and that's why she does it.
And it's like literally the second she sees the dolphins, she's like, "Oh, I can talk to dolphins."
Right.
So
I don't know. Kind of a weird, little weird version of events there, but nevertheless, we shall continue on and go ahead and jump into our scene by scene.
Just change that to 16.
I gotcha. All right. We dive in with a beautiful mermaid swimming around in the big blue world. But when she gets caught in a fishing net, we see it was just a dream, and we meet 16-year-old Vicky Austin and her siblings, Rob and Susie, as they are arriving to an island to meet their grandfather, who they'll be staying with for the summer. Later that night, while talking with her grandfather, he gives her a gift, a scrapbook of her poems she sent him to encourage her creativity.
The next morning, as the family is sitting down for breakfast, we meet Adam, returning some borrowed books from the grandfather. And we learned he is doing a study on dolphin communication and invites Susie and Vicky to join him. On their way to the dolphin research facility, we meet one more key character, Zachary Gray. But it's a short-lived encounter, and they go their separate ways.
I just want to quickly jump back to my thing because I didn't know how fast we were going to go through here. But
Okay.
Was it just me, or was it kind of just a little bit uncomfy to you that they kept calling him grandfather?
Yeah. Yep.
And I get that, like, other people have used different words for their grandparents and whatever. You know, like in our family, we have grandpa and we have granddad.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, that's normal to me. But, like,
right.
I always have felt like grandfather is more of a, like, British thing to say.
It's very,
right?
it's a very
posh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, grandfather.
Yeah.
And then what was funny to me is when Vicky's on the phone when Vicky hands the phone to Rob to talk to their mom, he says mom. They both say mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have expected you all to call her mother because you
Yeah.
keep calling him grandfather.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I think the kids made it feel weird a little bit because they were, it was such a grandfather.
Yeah.
Like, it sounded like they had to
like
force themselves to say that.
Although Misha is from England.
I kind of got that feeling.
Yeah.
Because she kept slipping up. Like,
yeah.
I swear, actually, when she said, every time she said grandfather, she said grandfather.
Yeah.
I swear I heard that at the beginning of the movie, and I had that thought.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's get back on the rails here. They went their separate ways. While at the research facility, Adam is showing the girls the dolphins and explaining how whales and dolphins were once land animals in prehistoric times, and how they're the only mammals to go from land to sea. Which Vicky chimes in, oh, mermaids. And Adam tells her mermaids were just dolphins and whales mistaken for mermaids by sailors, and they're not real.
When Adam and Susie step away to look at the recording equipment, Vicky asks why one of the dolphins isn't eating, and Adam tells her that Enid is one of their wild dolphins. And Vicky looks into her eyes and tells Adam she's worried about her calf, almost as if Enid told her. The next day, Vicky goes back to the research facility where Adam recruits her to help with trying out their echolocator. While in the open water, they're testing to see if they can call on... Okay, this one thing. They kept calling him Basil. Is that... Did that throw you off a little bit?
A little bit, but it's fine.
It's spelled Basil, and so I was confused. Anyway, I'm going to say Basil because that's what they called him.
Yeah.
Enid's mate. When it's time for her to have her calf, and just as Adam is finishing his sentence, here comes Basil, almost with lightning speed, and jumps over them and starts calling to them.
With the most cheesy CGI dolphins that I've seen in a long time.
I like the speed
right.
swimming that they show.
It's basically like they just took real footage of a dolphin and just sped it up. Yeah. Because of reasons. Yeah. And I'm like, I wonder why they sped that up.
Copyright. I'm just kidding.
Copyright. they stole it from a I can't think of the word. Never mind. Forget it. While Basil is splashing around, Adam warns Vicky to be careful with him because he is more wild than the others and could snap, but is surprised when he sees Vicky is petting him because he has an itch under his fin. Then they see he has a fresh scar on his back, and we hear Vicky say, "Hard, sharp seaweed," almost as if someone is speaking to her.
Later, we see the Austins at the beach where Susie is building a sandcastle and Rob is showing Vicky his bug collection and tells her all about him and this other kid at school. It tells her how him and another kid at school are having a contest to see who can collect the most bugs over the summer. Then we see a guy on a jet ski jumping through the waves and riding up to the beach right to Vicky. And we meet Zachary again. After Vicky asks why he never wrote her back, he tells her his mother died last October.
Womp, womp, womp.
There's a lot of death in this.
I did not mean for that to sound like the womp womp sound, but
I
it
know,
kind of
but-
did. And I was like, oh, okay, it's whatever. As Zachary and Vicky are talking, Rob is trying to play fetch with Ned, their grandfather's dog. But when Ned doesn't go out to fetch the frisbee, Rob goes out and gets caught in the waves. And while Vicky is out trying to find him, Basil sees him and pulls him back to shore. Later, we see Vicky and her grandfather talking about how she thinks she knows what the dolphins are thinking and feeling, and they can communicate with her. And he tells her to take it as a compliment because they trust her.
Next, we see Vicky and Zach out to lunch when Adam interrupts and learns that Zach's father is the one using drift nets, which are illegal, to catch their fish. But to get proof, Zach sneaks them onto his father's boat, and just as Adam is looking under a tarp, the ship's captain comes out and they leave. But not before Adam sees the drift nets. That night, we see Vicky dreaming about being a mermaid again. Only this time, Basil and Adam are there too.
Aww. The next day, we see Adam at the harbor patrol station begging them to check the Marina Rose for the nets. And they agree to check once it redocks. Later that night, while the Austins are getting ready for dinner, who shows up next? That's right, our best friend Adam. And he decides to join them. And after dinner, while Vicky is finishing up with the dishes, we hear about Adam's first time in the ocean. And it turns his first encounter, and in turn, his first encounter with dolphins. They swam up to him, circled him until one of them jumped out of the water as if they could fly, and then they were going just as fast as they were gone just as fast as they had arrived.
Then we get a visit from Harbor Master Dan, telling them he looked around the Marie Rose when it docked and didn't find any drift nets on the boat, and he couldn't do anything if he doesn't see them actually using them, which Adam does not take well and leaves. Then we see Vicky and their grandfather having a heart-to-heart, and he takes her to look at one of his philosophy books and reads her a quote. I saw eternity the other night, like a great ring of pure and endless light, all calm as it was bright, and round beneath it time in hours, days, years, driven by the spheres, like a vast shadow moved, in which the world and all her train were hurled. And then he goes off to bed, leaving Vicky to read.
The next morning, we get a glimpse into Zach's life when we see his father talking to the Marie Rose's captain. And when his father confronts him about taking his friends on the boat, he asks if he likes the way they live. And if he wants to maintain his lifestyle, they need to maintain the business. And he will not see Zach destroy it. But when Zach asks if they use drift nets, his father tells him to, quote, toughen up. Next, we see the research team with Enid as she is about to give birth.
Sorry.
But she's having a difficult time, and as before, Adam gets the medicine.
And just before
Adam gets the medicine to Enid, Vicky shows up and tells them that she wants Basil to come and help. So Adam lifts the gate, Basil rushes to Enid, and the baby dolphin is born. And I'm like, did you guys actually film a real dolphin being born? Because that was wild.
Yeah. I was just going to say I'm pretty sure that was a real life dolphin birth.
Probably. I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is kind of...
Yeah. I was like, oh, good CG. That's real. That is real.
Right.
All right. Then after Enid has successfully had her baby, Adam confronts Vicky about how she knew what was happening and how she knew what Enid and Basil wanted. And how this is proof that dolphins don't just communicate through echolocation, but also communicate telepathically. Then we see Zach in a boat spying on his father's ship, taking pictures to get proof of them using drift nets.
One of the things that I thought was kind of funny is that when Adam says something, it was like, how did you know? Like, he's like, you can communicate with them. And she gets super defensive about it.
Yeah.
For no reason. Like, realistically, absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm mad at you to be mad at you.
Yeah.
And that was that.
If it were me, I'd be like, yeah, I can talk to dolphins.
Right?
That's pretty cool.
I see. I'm like, why did she get so mad at him?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even say anything. He's just like, how did you do that? Like, genuinely,
right.
How did you do that? Because that's wild.
Yeah.
That's something we've been trying to figure out for ages.
Like, that's the whole point of this research.
It's like how we communicate with dolphins. You can do it. Like, we need to know what I guess we don't need to know, but we sure would like to.
Yeah.
And she's just like shutting him down. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like,
I didn't understand that either.
I don't get why she was upset.
There
was the part where he kind of briefly mentioned that they wanted to study her, and I'm like, okay, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Studying a human being is strange.
Because he's strange,
like, but
he says something about how kids are more sensitive to things, and that's where
that
she gets
was a
the
sentence
most upset.
she cut him off of.
Yeah.
Because what he said was something along the lines of, we've known this kind of sensitivity in kids, but before he could go on and say, like, but we've never seen it in a grown-up person.
Right.
And you are very clearly grown up. Like, once people reach a certain age, we don't see it, but you are 16 years old and you can still do this. You still have this sensitivity. That's rare. But she didn't let him finish that thought and just immediately started calling him, being like, I'm a kid.
She's like, you see me as a kid.
Like, he was in the middle of a sentence when you said that, ma'am. And I was like, it was very clear to me that that was where that was going.
Yeah.
Did you finish?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. The next day, we see Vicky sitting on a bench when Adam finds her to apologize and confesses that he is jealous of her and wishes he could communicate with them as well. Next, we see Vicky and Susie talking about boys and how to know which one is the right one, which Susie gives Vicky scientific advice and tells her to make a pros and con list and weigh out what is most important and decide from there.
Later that night, we see Zach and Vicky out to dinner, and Zach surprises her with a special guest, and in walks Adam, and he shows them the pictures he took of his father's boat with the drift nets. But when Adam tells him it's not enough and they need to actually catch them using them, Zach tells them that can be arranged. Then, after they decide to go dancing, Adam declines, saying he doesn't dance. I don't dance. I know you can't. Sorry. Vicky offers to teach him, but once again, he declines. So Vicky and Zach leave him at the table.
Later that night, Adam surprises Vicky and asks her to teach him how to dance. So they make a fire on the beach, and she teaches him how to sway. I mean dance. While they're dancing, she tells him about her grandfather and how he has had to learn to cook when he was a missionary, and he used to have a huge church in Boston where they would broadcast his sermons on the radio every Sunday. And he traveled all over the world until he found this island. After a few seconds of swaying, they share a kiss, and Adam walks Vicky back home and asks her one more time to help with his research, and she now agrees.
The next morning, we see Adam opening the gate for Enid, Basil, and their baby out into the open water, and asks Vicky to call to them. While they're waiting for them to return, Vicky asks why the dolphins return to the sea after being on land, and he explains that if you look at their flippers, they're more like paws, or fingers with skin laid over them, and they must have given up their hands so they could return to the sea. And then, just like magic, Enid and Basil return to them, and Adam asks Vicky to tell them to do something. And so she tells them to do a flip.
I saw that you wrote that, and I was like, that's how she's going to say it, right? And so I was literally just sitting here in anticipation waiting. After Adam asks them to flip once again, well, Adam asks Vicky to ask them to flip once again. Vicky tells him that Basil is bored of that and wants them to play instead. So they go
splashing.
a splashing and swimming around for a few seconds, and then Adam asks Vicky to ask them why they returned to the sea. And when they tried to answer her question, she sank into the water, and as they circled her, we saw a glimpse of blue water and bubbles all around. And then Vicky popped out of the water and calmly walked back to shore. And then Enid and Basil were gone. That whole sequence was so funny.
Yeah.
But also, like, she just, like, shot underwater like a demon, grabbed her foot and just pulled her down.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was the dolphins. Like, we ain't answering that question.
Right? That part did scare me a little bit.
I was so confused, like, what happened that she got pulled under so fast.
Yeah. And then I wonder why I'm scared of the ocean, guys.
Right.
It's because of movies like this.
That's valid.
Okay. Later, when Vicky is returning home, Zach is in the driveway waiting for her to go with him to catch the bad guys.
But the bomb.
They'll be in his boat a few hundred feet away, and when they start to drop the nets, they'll zoom in with his video camera and start recording. While they're on their way to catch the Marie Rose in action, Zach starts to rag on Adam by saying it was like hanging out with an old man. And then he decides to, quote-unquote, have some fun and play chicken with the Harbor Patrol boat. But after...
I don't know if that was the Harbor Patrol boat. I feel like he would have gotten, like, arrested.
With another boat. I don't know.
Sorry.
He looked like a Harbor Patrol. I don't know.
I'm just like, I feel like that would be, like, majorly... illegal.
I guess that's
like
true.
a big issue. I don't know. It's fine.
He decides to play chicken with another boat. But after almost crashing into the other boat, Vicky tells him to take her home.
Later at home, while Vicky is writing, she hears a thud upstairs and finds her grandfather on the floor beside his bed. While she is trying to help him to his feet, he thinks she is his late wife, Kara. And as he comes to realize it is Vicky, he tells her he misses Kara so much, and then asks Vicky to hand him his medicine. But as she does, she sees it is for pain, and to take it as needed. After helping him with his medicine, she asks what's wrong with him, with his health, and he tells her it is leukemia. And he wasn't going to tell anyone until their parents arrived. After he tells her that death is as natural as the storm outside, and asks how he can fear what God has in store for him when he trusts him completely, and he takes comfort in it. Then he asks Vicky to read one of her poems to him that he also finds very comforting.
The poem. The universe is part of this one cry in this strange land where all are born to die. Each tree and leaf and star show how the universe is part of this one cry. That every life is noted and is cherished, and nothing loved is ever lost or perished. Sorry, that part got me. The next morning, we see the Marie Rose lowering their nets, and Enid, Basil, and their baby swimming towards the nets. And we cut to the Austins and Adam on the beach, where Vicky stops mid-sentence and walks to the water and tells Adam that Enid is trapped in the net. And they call Zach for help, and they follow Basil to their boat to save Enid.
While they're on their way to the Marie Rose, Vicky calls her grandfather and asks him to get the harbor master to the site to catch them with the drift nets. While they're waiting for the harbor master, Vicky and Adam jump in and try to save Enid by cutting her free. But when Adam is cutting the net, his leg gets tangled up, and though Enid is now free, Adam is being dragged in with the nets to the boat. And while he is unconscious under the water, Enid, Basil, and Vicky come to the rescue and save him before he is taken all the way in. And the harbor master and the grandfather make it just in time to see the nets being used. And they have caught the bad guys.
Later, when Vicky and her grandfather arrive back home, Susie and Rob are asking what happened, and Vicky answers their questions as their grandfather makes his way inside to take a nap. And later that night, when Vicky goes in to check on him, he gives her one last piece of advice. She has a light and a special gift that she must never hide, what?
I don't know what she was trying to go for there.
She must never hide her beautiful word, and she promises to share it with the world and to never be afraid. And then he closes his eyes and joins the Lord.
The next morning, we see Rob outside on the porch swing and Susie sitting by the window looking out at the sea. And Vicky finds a blank book on the table that's written on it. It says, quote, Volume 2, for her next round of poetry. The harbor master, Dan, comes in telling Vicky that her parents will be arriving soon. And as Vicky and Rob are out on the porch, a taxi pulls up and their parents embrace them in a hug.
Then, just before they board the ferry, Adam and Vicky share one last kiss on the cheek and promise to write each other, and then they were off.
And that's the Ring of Endless Light.
Nice.
I just couldn't help but think about how traumatizing it would be to watch a grandparent die in front of you.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the note or the poem that she wrote and the conversation she had with her grandfather.
Grandpa.
Just what a day or two before about like understanding like his comfort with passing away, and her poem that she wrote understanding that death is a natural part of life is probably the only reason that she wasn't traumatized. And at first I was like, how come Vicky's the only one who's there? Like, why didn't she go get Rob and Susie to come say bye to Grandpa before he passed away? But I'm like, I actually get it, because they would not have been able to process that the way that Susie might have been, because she's very scientifically minded, but I don't think she would have been processing it the same.
Yeah.
She would have been processing it scientifically.
That next morning when Vicky walked downstairs, she's like, hey, Susie, and she's just like blank face. Like, yeah.
So if they had been in the room when he passed away, it would have been.
Yeah.
But she had those conversations with him, and I feel like she low-key was expecting it, even though obviously she didn't want him to. She kind of knew it was happening.
Right. Yeah.
I think because of their conversations. I also, I'm going to be honest, saw it coming not from the first time we saw Grandpa, because he looked very much healthy and well at first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
like once they got home,
I was like, homeboy's going to die before the end of this movie, isn't he? And then he did.
Yeah. And it, there's like a little bit of technically foreshadowing when they get home and the cat and the dog are like friends, and he's like, yeah, they're just getting old and they realize we don't need to fight, kind of thing. And I was like,
why waste our precious energy on fighting? And it's like
and then how he's talking about the stars and stuff, like,
and
like if you read the summary, it starts off with their grandfather has leukemia, right? But they don't find out until
what did we find? We found out he has leukemia, and then 20 minutes later he's dead. Yeah. And it's not like we find out he has leukemia at the beginning and then we sit through the 90 minutes of the movie and then he dies. Yeah. So I don't know. That was, it's like, it was obvious still, I think. I mean, without reading the summary, but.
Yeah. But like he tells her, he's like, I'm an old man. You know?
Right. So, super content. And this is.
Yeah. But I mean, like.
Respect.
Yeah. And like it sounds like he was a pastor. Yeah.
And like a reverend.
A reverend, yes. So. But and like they all believe, they're all part of that religion. Yeah. Is that Christianity?
Well, I mean,
it's kind of like
in the loop. Okay. Yeah, it's in the Christianity. Yeah. It's in there with us somewhere.
Lutheran, whatever.
No, because I think typically, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's. I think Lutherans they're typically pastors in Lutheran churches as well. Yeah. I think reverends are usually like, it's in there somewhere. Protestant, I guess.
Okay. What is the religion in Seventh Heaven?
That's what I was trying to remember.
Okay. It's that one. But like even Zach mentioned, I think it's Zach mentions in the movie where he's like, they go to church every Sunday. Their parents never fight. Their parents actually talk to them.
And their parents are actually in love with each other.
Yeah, kind of thing. And so like they were raised to have that faith. So like I think having him pass away, even though, and like the hardest part is like he passed away right before the parents got there.
Right. So they didn't even get to say goodbye.
They didn't even get to say goodbye.
The only person who really got to say goodbye to him was Vicky. Yeah. And it's also wild. she's the only one who even knew he was in that position.
Yeah. I mean, everybody on the island knew.
Right, because they kept saying,
kept
like,
asking
how
him
are you
stuff.
doing?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, splendid. And every time someone asked
and they were
her,
like,
and she's like, he's great. And she's like, they're like,
is he though? Like,
how good can you be if he's got leukemia?
Right.
Kind of vibes.
So, yeah.
Right
so
on.
like,
yeah.
I think just having that religious background and stuff with them too, and
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
finding comfort in that as well. Because like when Papa Earl passed away, I was very much like Susie, where I was
kind
just
of like glazed.
Just glazed.
Yeah.
Shut off for like a day.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's how I handled grief back then. The most recent, I guess Grandma was the most recent one.
Yeah.
I didn't shut down as much. I shut down a little bit, but I didn't shut down as much.
It definitely stung.
So,
but I'm with you.
Yeah. So
I had well, I don't know. I guess I don't want to get into all that.
No, it's all good.
Similar.
You
Yeah.
don't
Similar.
have to. Yeah.
Similar feelings where when Grandma passed away, I was a little more at peace with that. I mean, it obviously still crushed me, but
right. But I think because of our the way we were raised and our religious background and stuff, knowing that Grandma also had that, just brought us comfort too. So
for sure. Well, what was your favorite scene in this film? Don't you say the whole movie was your favorite scene? Now you have to think,
now
sucker.
I have to think. I really liked when they first meet Enid and he's just rambling and Vicky's just like, I'm gonna feed this dolphin now.
Right.
Like she's totally shut off, and then Susie's like, this is interesting, but you're boring.
Right.
And Susie just like completely shuts him down on every little theory that he has, and she's like, what, 12?
Right.
12 or
like
something.
That.
And he's like 18. He's like,
he's
about to go into college
16.
though. No,
he was doing early enrollment.
Oh, okay.
So I think he was also 16, but doing early enrollment, so probably about 17.
16, 17.
Yeah.
That
but it's funny
sense.
because she was also talking about how she was doing research so that she could write her paper to get into early enrollment into MIT in 2 years.
In 2 years. So she might have been
14.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
But she also could have been 13.
Yeah.
But like her birthday's at the end of summer, you know.
That's true.
She might be turning 4. I don't know.
I don't know how.
I guess it's also possible that like she's smart enough that she might be 12.
That's
and
true.
she is getting in at 14 because she's that smart.
That's true.
Possible. I have kind of 2 like favorite scenes that I would pick from.
Okay.
I guess the first one that I just thought was really funny was when Grandpa grandfather picks them up, and first of all, he's driving a Volkswagen Beetle, so there's a frunk in that. It was the original frunk, right? And so they're throwing the suitcases in there, and my brain goes, "Oh yeah, Beetle." Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And then when they get in the car, and Susie's like, "Grandpa, what's this?" And he's like, "That's my second roof.
Yeah.
You might want to open it up. I think we're gonna get some rain."
I did love that part. That was so good.
That's not the right one. That's the one. Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah,
I loved that.
And then like magically, I don't know.
She started to open it.
Yeah, and then she like sat down.
Yeah.
And then when they're driving back, the umbrella's there. In my head, the wind as you're driving, that umbrella would have been gone. But I don't know what the inside looked like. Maybe they had something to hold it down.
Maybe they have some straps pulling it down. Maybe. I feel like you might stand a good chance of it staying on if you get that front part aligned with the windshield well enough.
Yeah.
Because then you just slipstream over, and the wind actually would probably help push it in more.
Maybe.
But I also thought it was funny that they pick him up, and it's like it looks like a relatively sunny, nice, clear day.
Yeah.
And then they get back to his house, and it is dark, storming, and I'm like,
which like,
how far away from the boat are you? Because it doesn't seem like it's that far.
No, but
the weather changed like that.
On islands, it can change. I guess it can fast.
Be because like you can literally be like on this camera behind you, it's like, oh wow, gorgeous, sunny.
Yes.
And then we come to this camera and it's like dark. Gloomy, scary behind me. Those 2 things have to meet somewhere.
And they meet. Go to the middle one. Here.
Right there. Right here.
Right there. That's the line.
Sorry for those of you listening to the audio only version of this podcast. It's camera funds. Anywho, my
what's
other
your other
favorite
one?
scene, and it's annoying because of how much I like the CGI drives me nuts in these movies, but I really liked the scene where they're like playing with the dolphins and
Me
they keep
too.
jumping over them.
Yeah.
I don't know why I liked that. It was
Yeah.
super cheesy and it was like very clearly CGI,
Yeah.
but it was done tastefully. I
it
felt.
was, yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
I loved any scene with the dolphins.
The dolphins were great, weren't
They
they?
were great. They were
Right
great.
on.
Yes.
Anything else? Sorry.
No.
Okay, good. Rating out of 5 dolphins.
Out of 5 dolphins?
Yeah.
4.
4 dolphins.
4 dolphins.
Okay, 4 dolphins. Good for me.
What were you gonna say?
3, 3.5.
Maybe I'm too generous.
I think I've
With my
been thinking about
dolphins.
it all day, or not all day, but like all week, because I'm like, I don't think we've ever had a DCOM less than 3.5, and 3.5 is exactly the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way that they've all been that good.
I feel like we had one that was.
I don't think we had. Maybe we did have one that only had 2 stars, but I don't.
I'll have
I
to
don't
look
remember.
back and
Yeah.
see.
Well, I don't write it in the notes, so
I know, but like, if I just look at the title, I'll be like, oh, that one was.
yeah, maybe so.
I feel like Ready to Run was
that
a
one,
low one.
I feel like that one was our 3.5.
I feel like it was 2.5
Okay, maybe it was.
because we were like, what is this?
Oh, 2.5. 2.5 would be middle of the road, actually.
Yeah.
So nothing. I don't think we've had anything less than 2.5.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the ones we've done like maybe should have been.
Like what?
I don't know. Alley Cat Strike Week. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
I'm about to leave
That
this
was a joke.
podcast.
That was a joke.
I'll
'cause
start
I'm
recording
funny.
myself.
Good luck. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. It's fine. I just feel like
4.
I'm gonna just be honest with this movie. Like, you remember I told you that I felt like, what's it? What the heck? God, Kick It Up.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that I felt like that one was kind of slow. The pacing was not all there. This movie was. I felt like it just crept along the whole time.
Yeah. It didn't feel like it was the span of the summer. It felt like the span of a week.
And even then, it was like.
Even then, it was like a couple.
It took
maybe.
so long for
Yeah.
the story to unfold. Like
Mhm.
the things that changed between the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie, there's not a lot of difference.
There's not a
I
lot.
mean,
But
she discovers she can talk to dolphins. She's got the new boyfriend in Adam, and Grandpa dies. Those
Yeah.
are the 3 things that happen.
yeah,
And it
And they
took us
catch the
an
bad
hour and
guys.
a half to get there.
I liked the story in between.
It's a good story. It's like there's 3 things happened, and
Yeah.
it took them 120 minutes to do it. That's 2 hours.
took them 90 minutes.
95
80,
minutes or so. I don't remember what it
85-ish.
was. 80. I don't remember how long it was, but it took them an hour and a half to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it didn't move very fast. There was not a lot of development. I
Yeah.
didn't feel very much of a character arc at all. Like there was I didn't feel the hero's journey as much as you do in some of the other ones.
Yeah. I mean, kind of between Vicky and Adam's like relationship, there was a bit of an arc there.
Oh, but that took so long
But-
too.
I mean,
And it was so on and off with
Yeah.
her and Zach. It was like Zach, the love triangle.
yeah.
And it felt like
Yeah.
she was never actually really into Zach other than the fact that he had a cool car and a fast boat.
And he was her last summer boyfriend.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But
I don't know.
yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. I did like when
4 stars is fine.
I did 4 dolphins.
4 dolphins, yeah.
I did like when after they get back on land, after the whole chicken situation on the boats, and he was like, I was just trying to show off. I'm sorry. And she was like, how about you go love yourself before you try to love somebody else?
Right.
And she just walks away, and he was like, oh man, she's right.
Right.
It's like,
I
yeah.
wonder if that is where
I think that's where
Justin Bieber got his idea for the song.
maybe,
You can go and love yourself.
probably not.
No, because that's supposed to be a different word.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I have anything else.
No, I'm good.
Right on. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today on DCOM Kids. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a rating or a like, depending on where you're watching or listening. If you are listening and you want the audio-only version, we are available on most major podcast platforms, iHeart Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts, even though I don't know anybody who gets their podcasts from anywhere but Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But we're available on the other two as well, just in case you get a bee in your bonnet, you want to go check it out. If you're listening to the audio-only version and you want to see our faces on the YouTubes, you can head over to youtube.com/Noah Parker _channel. That's where we post all of our video content, including our other podcast and our game night live streams and our Tuesday videos that have something to do with Disney parks. This coming Tuesday is actually one of my favorite videos that I filmed when I was in Disney. I basically took my Star Wars character that I created and put him in Black Spire Outpost on Batuu, which is Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
And basically made him like a HoloNet host, which for those of you who don't know, because probably only I do. And I don't mean like only I do, like in the world. I mean like
just like
out of the two of us and out of the people likely to listen to this. The HoloNet is basically Star Wars version of the internet because they have holocomms and stuff,
Got it.
They don't have computers. They have everything's holographic if it's a screen. So that's the HoloNet is like the internet but for the web. And so basically like I filmed a video as if I was a HoloNet creator.
That's so fun.
I'm almost done editing it and I'm really proud of it, honestly, and I think it'll be fun. But that's going to be out on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. But before that, Adriana and I will be live streaming on Monday night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time for our next episode of Noah Parker's World of Wonder. And then I will be playing MC Parks on Wednesday live at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Where I'm going to go to Universal Orlando Resort in MC Parks. So Minecraft is really fun. The MC Parks is like a server. I don't know if I told you this already, but yeah.
I've watched your live stream a couple times, yeah.
So it's super fun. Maybe my friend Percy will join me on there. I need to figure out how to get in touch with Percy because trying to communicate over comments, and then when we're playing together, he will comment on the live stream while I verbally respond, and then there's like a total delay, like a minute delay, probably not a minute, probably 45-second delay between him saying something and me responding to it. Yeah. And so I'm like, I need to figure out how to, maybe we can get on a Discord together or something, but that'd be fun. Neither here nor there for this podcast. That only has to do with the live stream. Next week, Marci and I will be discussing and recapping You Wish, which is the first DCOM starring Allison Mashalka, right? No, I'm thinking of the other one. I'm thinking of the wrong one.
Yeah, you're thinking of the wrong one.
Yes, sorry. I just remembered. That's
Now You See It.
That's Now You See It, yes.
Yeah.
This is not that movie.
This is
It's
got Lelaine from
Lizzie McGuire.
And I can't remember his name.
His name is right there on the tip of my tongue. It starts with a B, I think. Bitty. I'm thinking of the kid, by the way.
Yeah, you're thinking of Beans from Even Stevens.
No.
Oh. No, that's not him, actually.
No, it's not. What's the kid's name? I know it. It's right there. He's in several movies, and he's actually one of my favorite kid actors at the time because he's got
Spencer Breslin.
His last name starts with a B. Yes. Spencer Breslin and
AJ Trouth.
Yes.
Who is in Even Stevens?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he plays Twitty. Yeah.
I believe that's.
I think that's his name. Yes, so we have Twitty.
Alan Twitty.
Okay. Twitty from Even Stevens joins
Spencer.
What's her name? Crap. Mama. From what's her name on Lizzie McGuire? Miranda. I started with an M. Yeah. So Twitty and Miranda together with a Beans lookalike. Not really. Spencer Breslin is what? He's in a lot of things, but regardless, it's neither here nor there again.
He's Curtis in Santa Claus.
Curtis in Santa Claus, yes, that's it. But he was in this movie first. So, all right, I'm done talking. I'm gonna leave you all to it. Join us next week for our recap, and until then, my dear friends, let the wonder take hold.